It is Monday, September 15th, and the Yankees were taking on the Twins in Game 1 of a 3-game set. Carlos Rodon was on the mound. He was looking for win number 17. And could Aaron Judge stay hot? My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Well, none of those things happened. You know, Terrence, I record the intro before the game most of the time, and then I settle in and I record, I watch the game or whatever. And, I had hope, but that hope faded quickly once I saw how sluggish the Yankees were. And good news to anybody out there. If you've got insomnia, the FDA has officially approved replays of this game as a sleep medication. Guaranteed to have results. Do not watch this game and operate heavy machinery at the same time. TK, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing okay, but yeah, that game sucked. That was one of those games, Derek, where I'm watching the game, doing the show tonight, doing a little prep work for the show, but I got like Monday Night Football on the second screen, and I'm kind of like going back and forth because that game was just, like you said, a snooze fest, just like nothing to cheer about at all. So.
Yeah. Well, we got Blue Jays fans trolling us in the chat. Whatever. We'll see you in the postseason. But, they talk a lot of shit for a team that hasn't won anything in forever, right? Whatever. But so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the Volpe era, which appears to really be over at this point. They had the option to start him tonight. He's fully healthy. They chose not to. Caballero's been playing well. We're 150 games into the season. Now we'll kind of look at the playoff bracket and we'll decide, who's a good matchup and who's not, and we'll make our World Series picks. But this game was nonsense. Nonsense, TK. Not a lot of great takeaways. I'll give you my quick takeaways and then get your thoughts on it. So we had a nice running catch by Bellinger in the second. We had a double by Caballero. Then he got picked off at second base, Rodon was okay, but Luke Weaver was terrible again. Gave up 5 earned runs tonight. He was just awful. 3 hits and 2 walks, no strikeouts. Doval actually looked okay again tonight. This is the second time in a row that his stuff has looked really good. And Tim Hill pitched the scoreless innings. And I feel like the Yankees let their foot off the gas a little bit. Obviously, they got in late. That's not an excuse. But, they just got done playing this gauntlet of 12 games where they played pretty well. But I feel like they definitely let their foot off the gas a little bit tonight. Yeah,
no, definitely. We were talking before in the Frankie Baseball, Terrence is a jinx. That's harsh, man. That hurts. But we were talking a little bit in the virtual green room, so to speak, but it just sort of looks like a team that's kind of accepted that they're going to be a wild card team and they're going to kind of settle for that. And they're going to try to line up, the best matchup, and you definitely want home field advantage in a wild card series. Absolutely. You want that series to be in Yankee Stadium, just the home crowd alone, but also like last licks and all that as well. But yeah, that's kind of what it's giving to me when I'm watching this team. I feel like they've kind of accepted at this point that Toronto is probably going to win the division.
Yeah, I agree with Richie Ruggs in the chat. Winning the East is probably over. Hey, look, wild card teams have gone deep into the playoffs. They've gone to the World Series. I don't know if they've ever won the World Series. I believe they have. I believe there was a matchup a couple of years ago. It was like the Rangers and the Diamondbacks, right? And
the 2019 Nationals, I think, did it.
Yeah, so it can be done, but you just got to think optimistically. So let's take a quick look at the playoff picture. But first, the Yankees lose this one. All right, now this is entering play today, so it doesn't take into account games that have happened so far today. So right now, the Blue Jays are the number 1 seed. They get a first-round bye. They get home field advantage throughout the postseason. Tigers are the number 2 seed. They just thumped us 2 out of 3. And then the Yankees and Red Sox would be playing in a wild card round at Yankee Stadium. And that could be interesting. Now, the Red Sox have not been the same since they lost Roman Anthony. But also we saw yesterday Garrett Crochet is a very, very tough customer. You wouldn't want to have to face him, and you would have to. In a battle of aces, I guess it would be Fried versus Crochet. That could be a nasty, nasty game. And then in the other bracket, you've got Houston and Seattle. Seattle's got Brian Wu, who scares me to death. He's filthy. In the National League, Dodgers, Mets. facing off in the wild card round, and Padres Cubs facing off in the wild card round. Right now, the Brewers are the number 1 seed in the National League, and the Phillies are the number 2 seed. So just looking at this playoff bracket, TK, one, how do you think the Yankees fare in the East or in the American League, and who do you think's coming out of the National League? What's your World Series prediction?
I'll say that with this, also the point you made, like there's going to be a wild card team bound to win the World Series at this point because it's like 4 out of the 6 are wild card teams. But I'll point look. You can look at it this way too. Like sometimes I think in baseball there was this whole argument when they were going over the CBA, but sometimes a bye will hurt you, where you're not seeing pitching, and you're like baseball is a sport where you're playing every single day. So when you get that bye, sometimes you sit around too long and it ends up biting you. So I'll just say that. And maybe that Judge is hot right now. Maybe he has a great postseason for that reason. He kind of just brings that into October, right into the wild card round. So
and Stanton, we know he's going to show up. Even though he's not hitting right now, I trust him. When the calendar turns over to October, he will be there.
Yeah, so I'll just say that about, that may be the one positive I'll look at about the wild card round. But Boston, I'll say if the series is in Boston, I would be very afraid of that. I feel like Fenway has been kind of a house of horrors lately for the Yankees. It would remind me of that 2021 wild card where Garrett Cole blew it. He did not have a good game. But now it's a 3-game series. So obviously this goes without saying, game 1 of a wild card series is critical. It is the critical game. You have to win that game. And if you don't, your back is immediately against the wall. But I think if they have this series at home, Crochet is going to be really tough. But if they can somehow steal that game, and then you would have Rodon go game 2. And me personally, I'd have probably Schlittler go game 3. Maybe Derek, do you want to look at it this way? Like, let's say they play the Red Sox in Yankee Stadium, right? And you win game 1. Would you pitch Schlittler game 2 with the possibility of pitching maybe more of a veteran in a game 3, win or go home kind of situation?
Yes, that's a great call.
Yeah.
That's a great call. So I'd probably go Fried game 1. You know what? I might even go Rodon game 1 with but then no, you don't want to do that because then you're not guaranteeing Fried to pitch until game 3. You got to win game 1. So all right, so let's go Fried game 1, Schlittler game 2. Or do you go Luis Gil? I mean, Luis Gil dominated his last time out.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, it's so tough. He's looked really good. I think the last start he looked really good, and he's got great stuff. Obviously,
he's got a 0.95 ERA against Boston, according to Matthew Orico. Great,
but that is true. But his stuff, you did say he could be a weapon out of the bullpen too. Like if you were to look at it like a Schlittler-Gil sort of combined start, where like one of them goes the first few innings and the other guy goes the next few innings, because postseason baseball is different than regular season baseball.
I agree.
Yeah.
And those best of 3 series, a lot of times there's a 2-0 sweep. So you really want to take game 1. So Carlos Rodon tonight, I thought he threw the ball pretty well. I mean, he obviously didn't get any help from his offense, so he gets a loss tonight. But 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. He did his job. The offense just didn't help him out. Only 2 hits tonight for the Yankees. We had Goldschmidt and Caballero with knocks. Other than that, I mean, Judge walked 3 times. Grisham walked a couple of times. But, I mean, just no help from the offense tonight. So any takeaways from Rodon tonight?
Yeah, I thought he looked pretty good. He's had a really rock-solid season. This was kind of the make or break season for me, for him, for this season, because if he had another bad season, I would have been like, this contract's a bust. But this season's given me hope. Very solid. He's been a really, really good number 2. It makes me sort of excited, and it also hurts that we lost Garrett Cole for the entire year, because if you think about it, Garrett Cole and then Max Fried and then Carlos Rodon, that's a pretty killer 1, 2, 3 in the rotation right there. So we'll see what that looks like next season. But yeah, I liked it. I thought, what was that? The 4th inning, I think he struggled a little bit, but he got out of it. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Anthony Volpe. We had Aaron Boone tonight basically say that Volpe was a 100% player. He was available, he was healthy, and he was on the bench. Caballero got the start. Caballero's been playing pretty well. He had the home run last night. He had a double tonight. He's got a much better arm than Volpe. I mean, you can just tell watching him, it takes him much less effort to get the ball to first base. He seems to be just a lot more handsy out there, a lot softer hands. Volpe, this is year 3. I think it's fair to regress. It's fair to say he's regressed. We've got his numbers on the screen for those of you listening. 209 average his rookie season, 243 last year, 206 this year. Home runs are back up where near they were, in his rookie season. Stolen bases have dropped because he has not been on base that much. Defense has regressed significantly. With tonight, the Yankees having the option to play him for the first time in a while as a healthy player and choosing not to do it, is the end of the Volpe era as the starting shortstop over officially now on September 15th, 2025?
I don't know. It's an interesting conversation, but just looking at his numbers, I also find it interesting that 12 home runs and he had a much higher average. You know what I mean? Like that's a little bit of the outlier in the power there. Like when the power dropped, the average went up. So I don't know if it's the Yankees that are trying to make him hit home runs or he's trying to hit home runs, but it's just not the player that he is. But yeah, he's obviously been disappointing. Brian Cashman's even talked about it I think it was in a press conference talking about his injury, and it's not the season that they expected or that he expected. But yeah, I feel like they're going to probably start him tomorrow. I don't think that he's going to fully never play again on the New York Yankees, but I do think that his job is in question this winter. They may explore some options. And honestly, Derek, I know he had 2 tough plays in the field tonight, but I think I'm okay with Caballero being the stopgap shortstop. That's right now, to be honest.
So there's 12 games left in the season. Over under 6.5 games started for Volpe.
I think 6, half, 50-50.
Yeah, but it was 6.5. So it was like,
Right. I'll take the under then, 6, 50-50.
All right, I'll take. I think that this was a signal by the Yankees that they are not committing to him for the postseason. I do think he'll play some down the stretch, and if he plays well, maybe he gets, a postseason start. But, they've done this before. They committed to IKF as their starting shortstop, and then in the playoffs, Oswald Peraza got a start. We had 3 different shortstops in 4 games in the ALCS that year. I think you got to pick somebody and just run with that person, down the stretch and into the postseason. It's so important to have the double play combination working well together, right? Comfortable. You can't be messing up that chemistry. I think you got to pick somebody over these next couple of weeks. Maybe Volpe starts 2 or 3 games. I think they're going to stick with Caballero most of the time. And I think Caballero is going to start in the postseason. And he might even be the starting shortstop next year to open this season. I'm not entirely convinced that Volpe is coming back. If he has surgery, which is doubtful because they say he doesn't need it. But of course they're saying that, right?
Yeah.
If he does end up getting it, he'll probably miss most of the season anyway. But even if he doesn't, there's going to be questions of, is he healthy? Should he have the surgery? Even if he struggles, every time he struggles, the questions are going to be, how healthy is he, right? And, this was year 3 of a very underwhelming offensive performance from this guy. And with the fact that the defense has regressed too, it's just such an important position. If he was an average defender, I think they'd probably run him back out there. But the fact that he regressed so much defensively, I think you just got to go with someone else moving forward. And to me, that's Caballero for the rest of this year, and then you reevaluate this winter. I wonder, and we've talked a little bit about his athleticism, I wonder if Jazz Chisholm could play shortstop. He's got the arm. It's almost too strong for second base, right?
Yeah, he did in Miami. He came up as a shortstop.
And I thought he came up as a second baseman. I'm going to double check that. Take it for here for a second.
I think he definitely played shortstop at some point in Miami, because I remember when Derek Jeter was there, they had this whole thing about how he's taken so much advice from him playing shortstop and stuff like that. So he definitely played shortstop in Miami. And I think he could play the position, but his best position is second.
So I'm looking up his 2020 stats, and that was the year he came up. And I'm not seeing it. Oh, he's second base. I see he played in 9 games at shortstop in 2020. So, I mean, he's athletic enough to do it. That might be a direction you go. I'm a little bit underwhelmed with George Lombard Jr. this year at Double-A. This was his second straight year that he's hitting the 230s. We've seen that guys, if they struggle in the minor leagues, they don't get better when they get promoted, right? So I worry that he's going to develop. Let's talk about some other Yankees topics real quick. So what did you learn from the gauntlet that we just completed?
The bullpen is an enormous problem. Obviously, you saw that in the series in Detroit, and that's probably going to be their Achilles heel in the postseason. But I gotta say, it's interesting because in the last, I'll call it the Judge era of the Yankees. The one thing that Brian Cashman in the front office has really been able to do is construct a very solid bullpen with guys that you've basically never heard of as well. And this season, that seems to not be the case. Now, Fernando Cruz was definitely a find, and that was a good one. I'm going to say I'm legitimately worried about Luke Weaver at this point. I don't think he's really looked the same since the hamstring injury. And it's a bit funny because with him, he was never really, a big name or anything like that. He was a starter. They converted him into a reliever, and he comes out last year's postseason and he's awesome. And you're like, oh, maybe they unlock something. But now I'm kind of like, I don't know if it's the injury or he's kind of come back to the mean here of the player that he was, but I really hope not. I love him. Camilo Duvall, he's been really underwhelming as well since coming over. He's pitched pretty well last few outings, but overall, Bednar's been really good. That was, I think he is the solidified closer. And obviously, Devin Williams is a huge bust. I mean, that was supposed to be one of the big acquisitions over the winter, and it wasn't. And that's also the front office's job to know that he wasn't really going to translate to New York. So, Tim Hill, sure. Yeah. But there isn't really like you look at San Diego's bullpen is absolutely loaded. Or you look at Seattle, Andres Munoz, that guy is a lot. Like when that guy comes in, I'm like, the game's over. Aroldis Chapman this year with the Red Sox.
Although the Yankees did beat Munoz, they got to him earlier this year. He was tipping his pitches.
Yeah, but that was like one time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you hear what I'm saying though? Like,
yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Those guys, I'm like, the game's over when they come in.
Yeah. Yeah, Yankees don't have that guy. Aaron Judge heating up, I think, is a good thing, but when he heats up, they just stop pitching to him and he walks, right? And that's what happened tonight, 3 walks. But it'd be interesting to see what Judge does in the postseason if he's hot going into the postseason and without the layoff between, rounds. Just right out of the gate playing in the wild card round, he won't have time to reset things and cool off. He's one of those guys that cools off when you give him some time off. I do think that the Red Sox in a best 2 out of 3 would be a really fun, series, although it would sting if we lost. But what's your win total prediction? We got 12 games left. Right now the Yankees have 83 wins. What do you think? We got 2 more with the Twins, 4 with the Orioles, then 3 with the White Sox, and then 3 more with the Orioles.
I mean, because their schedule is so soft and losing tonight in the fashion that they did is really disappointing just because it's Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota is supposed to be your biatch, right? The last few years. So I'm going to say, I really want to say 90 games because their schedule is soft and I think that's doable, but
they only need 7 more to get to 90. That would be what? 7 and 5? That would be 6. They'll do better than that.
5. All right. I'm going to say 90 wins comfortably, and I'll say 92 wins because their schedule is soft. There you go. 92 wins.
Yeah. So I'm going to say 8 and 4 from here on out. So 91 wins, which when you consider we lost Garrett Cole and we lost Luis Gil for months, I'll take it.
And Stanton for a while.
Yeah. Stanton too. All right. Quick word from DraftKings and we'll be back to wrap it up. Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
All right, TK. So I'm not sure how we can wrap up a game this ugly. That was one of the worst games of the season in terms of effort from the Yankees. I feel like they just let their foot off the gas. They just mailed it in. They didn't care if they won or lost. They just wanted to get back to the hotel, get some rest. You think they'll bounce back tomorrow? Or you think that they're going to spiral?
No, it's the Twins. Also, Schlittler, show me something. Show me. I'm interested to seeing that, and I'm very interested. I really want him to get some postseason action because I need to see what he looks like in that environment. That'll tell me if he's for real or not, if he rises to the occasion, because the stuff is there, and if he develops a couple more secondary pitchers, it's not like I'm gassing it that much, Derek, but at the same time, I'm looking at his stuff and I'm like, we might have an ace caliber guy on our hands here.
That's an ace caliber arm, and the curveball when it's on is one of the better curveballs in baseball. So that's two plus pitches right there.
Yeah.
He's got pretty good command. It's not great, but it compared to Luis Gil, it's better than Luis Gil, right? Yeah. So I think that there's room for improvement, but he's already pretty close to a finished product, and he's pitched really well. I want to see how he does in a postseason game. That'll be fun. Yeah. But hopefully, we provide him some offense tomorrow, because the offense today was just putrid. It was anemic. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to TK. TK, what are your thoughts on doing maybe a couple of streams for postseason games?
I'd love to. If I can work out the schedule and do it, I'll just give the warning right now. In the post, I get very emotional watching postseason games. So
we're gonna need to put you on a time delay.
Put you on
a time delay.
Know that going into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Check out NYYDesigns.shop for some great merch. Support our sponsors. It helps keep the show going. And you can find us on all major audio platforms, so be sure to subscribe there too. But most importantly, come back again soon. We'll see you next time.